everyone, I'm Mind, and welcome to the second episode of my casual discussion series. I realized in the last episode I asked you guys for a name for this series, and then I never really picked one, so I still don't have a name. But this is the Q&A / mini podcast / Pricks by Mind's fireside chats. I had one episode of this in early September, and I said, oh hey, I'm going to do this monthly from now on. And then I kind of forgot to make an episode for the entire month of October. So I know it's technically November 1st now, but I'm going to try to continue to do these monthly because I do think it is a very fun series to have on the channel. Anyway, this is going to be a more casual, long-form video, less edited, answering some of the questions that you guys have for me. I made a community tab post. I'll be doing some mini reviews of sets that I didn't feel like making full videos on, and then I'll also just be discussing some of the LEGO news that's happened in the past month. So with all that being said, let's get started. I think we'll start with some of your questions. So the first one comes in from Comics Animations 18. With the changes happening to LEGO Friends, would you like if LEGO included more diversity in their non-licensed themes? 100% yes, I would like this. The one thing I would say is I don't want them to ditch yellow. I do think there should be a more accessible way to get non-yellow skin tone minifigures. Like we'll talk about later in this video, I think the minifigure heads that come in the foosball table set are fantastic, and I wish those were available for cheaper. But I don't think the solution to that is getting rid of yellow in City or Ninjago, because I do think the yellow minifigure serves a great purpose. I actually made a whole video about that a little while ago. But all that being said, I think diversity can still exist within yellow minifigure themes. For example, things like the Chinese New Year sets, they still use yellow minifigures, but they're clearly based around a specific country, specific culture. Now I'd like to see those kind of sets for more backgrounds too. And then yeah, themes like Ninjago who include characters of different sexualities, characters with different disabilities and whatnot. And I think that would be really cool to see, and I think that's something important. And I feel like it's something we will see going forward in the future. Especially given like what they're doing with LEGO Friends, I could see them tying that into some of their other themes as well. So yeah, 100% it is something I want to see more of. But I know some people say ditch the yellow, and I don't think that's the right solution. Alright, next question from Bass1113. Before we get a new cast of 6 Ninja in 2023, what would you like to see? Another robot, more girls, maybe an elemental serpentine? You pretty much mentioned all the things I would like. I don't need another robot, I think we have enough robot characters in Ninjago. But if we were to get a new cast of characters, for one, I would like an even male-female distribution, like 3 of each if it was 6 Ninja. And then I would like more non-human characters. Because we have all these different like fantasy races in the Ninjago world, right? We have the serpentine, you have like whatever the keepers are, you have the Merlopians. So the fact that all the ninja are just the yellow humans is kind of just lame. So I'd like to see more creative characters. I think an Elemental Master Serpentine is an awesome idea. It would be a great addition to the main cast. Alright, next question from Master Vamber. What direction do you want Ninjago to go in terms of show and sets? It's a very broad question, but I think as a general rule, to keep it like relevant and interesting, they should focus more on smaller scale stories. Like the big world-ending stuff can be cool, but I think these smaller, more self-contained stories could be a lot more fun. Additionally, focus more on the characters and the dynamics between them. I feel like the seasons that do that, where the main characters have like really established arcs and it's more than just fighting the bad guys, those are the ones that are the strongest to me. And I think exploring more of the world too would be cool. We saw that a bit with like the Island, Seabound, Master of the Mountain, but we've seen Ninjago City taken over a million times. I think it'd be more interesting to explore the other parts of the world because there is this big continent that is Ninjago. So there's a lot more for the characters to explore. And I think that would be a nice way to establish new lore without really contradicting previous lore. In terms of sets, I have 2 answers. My pipe dream answer is I would love for them to target an older audience. I like the sets for kids, don't get me wrong, but because there is so many old Ninjago fans now, I think it'd be awesome if they did an 18+ Ninjago line, or even a 16+ Ninjago line, which used more difficult building techniques and were more for display than play. I think that would be genuinely really cool, but I doubt it would ever happen. So that aside, I think they should just try to focus more on villains and locations, because I do have a million mechs and cars and planes and whatnot. And while those can be cool, as a long-time collector, they're not always the most exciting to just get another one up. But I really like the Master of the Mountain wave because there's only one vehicle in that entire wave. And yeah, there's 2 dragons, but the dragons are really unique from other LEGO dragons. And then the rest of it is just terrain builds and 1 creature build, which are genuinely awesome. So I would like more waves like that in terms of sets, and less of just the selection of vehicles that all the Ninja have gotten before. Do you like Core? I actually love Core. I know Core is a bit controversial, but Core is actually really fun to me because it felt nice to have a Ninjago season that didn't feel like I had to fit into a lore. It was very simple and very kiddie, don't get me wrong, but that's not inherently a bad thing. And by the way, when I'm saying Core, I'm talking about these smaller sets, not the 3 big ones. Because the 3 big ones are good for another reason, but I'm talking about the Evo set specifically here. But yeah, they reminded me a lot of the LEGO sets I built when I was a kid. Because I feel like some point, maybe 2018, 2019-ish, I felt like LEGO stopped being as much of a toy and started becoming more of a model building system. It was all about looking good, looking perfect, and less about being fun, which is okay. There's a lot of really beautiful LEGO sets that I love that are like that. But core felt like a return to Ninjago's roots. It was very simple builds that may not look the most realistic, but they were goofy and they were fun. And as long as you're not the $35 Kai's Fire Dragon, I genuinely think there's a lot to like there. Core is also a nice starting point for new fans too, since they don't have to be caught up on the show to know like what's going on in core. Also, if you could have one legacy set for each season of Skybound, what would they be? Alright, so season 1 would be either the Great Devourer or Cole's Tread Assault. In fact, let's just put them both in one set, both of those two together. Season 2, the Black Bounty, is that what it's called? Garmadon's like Evil Destiny's Bounty, that would be very cool. Rebooted Zane's Helicopter. I don't even like Rebooted, but the fact that we don't have that vehicle, we have all the other ones despite Zane being the main character of that season. Come on, we need that. Season 4, this might not be the best answer, but I would just like a big Chen's Palace type build, like maybe $100, $150, that comes with the few elemental masters we're missing, like a little arena in the center for them to fight. I think that could be a lot of fun, because we never really got anything like that in the sets, and obviously that's such a big part of the season. Season 5, I'd have to say the Preeminent, because I mean, she is the main villain of this season, and we never got her in any sets. So just like a giant global Preeminent would be awesome. And then season 6, I think I would just have to go with the Misfortune's Keep. I mean, it's the most iconic part of that season, and that would be really cool to get. The Jay and the Fusion Dragon would be pretty cool too, though. Oh, that question was asked by Riley Waters, by the way. Next, I have a question from Toy Mayhem. What do you think will be coming in 2023 for LEGO Mario? That's a great question. That's something I've been thinking a lot about. I have a feeling the course builder set's going to end in early 2023, because I don't know, I feel like they've reached the end of their lifespan, and I do like the course builder system, but I think it is time to move on, especially because the course builder sets have been going on sale very quickly as of recent, so I don't think they're selling that well anymore. They did initially because, like, LEGO Mario was new and fun and exciting, but I don't think they're having as many return customers as they would like, so I have a feeling course builder is on its way out. I don't think we're going to get another playable character at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got minifigure scale sets in time with the Mario movie. But after the Mario movie is done, I'm not sure what they're going to do with the Mario IP, but I'm very curious to see. I'd be shocked though if we're still getting course builder sets this time next year. Alright, next we have a question from M. Penn. Out of all the openings for Ninjago throughout the years, which of them are your favorites? Obviously, Season 1's very nostalgic. I think Tournament has a very good opening. Skybounds is a lot of fun the way it foreshadows the order in which the ninja disappear. SOG and Hunted, though, just have to be the best. They really, like, set up the tone of those seasons. And the Wild Brain Era didn't really have intros, they were just recaps. So yeah, those would be my answers. What do you think is the most underappreciated LEGO theme that you wish got more love? Mixels? I think there is like a cult following around Mixels, but I do really love Mixels, and I wish I had appreciated Mixels more, because you got these fun little characters for $5, and they came with so many cool parts, so you can just build them into what they were meant to be, or you could build your own thing, and either way, they were awesome. And I would love for Mixels to come back. It was amazing. Also, it doesn't really count because when you talk about theme, I assume you're talking about sets. In regards to the sets for this theme, I don't think they're amazing. But LEGO Movie 2, in terms of the movie, I think deserved more recognition. But the sets were kind of mid, so I kind of understand why they didn't sell the best. Because there was a few good ones, but overall they were like, they didn't represent what the movie was well enough. Alright, next one's from Chumpen. Would you like to have another Legacy wave with more Season 5 and Season 6 sets? Now this may be a controversial opinion, but I kind of understand why Legacy didn't happen this year. Don't get me wrong, I love Legacy, but the first wave was amazing, and then after that it had its ups and it had its downs. Because once you get further from the pilots in Seasons 1 and 2, the builds they're making are not nearly as iconic as the other builds, so as such they're just less desirable. Like the fact that we got what, 4 rebooted vehicles? That just wasn't that interesting to me. They were barely in the show, they weren't as iconic as the old weapon vehicles, so I just didn't really care that much that they were being remade. I felt like the originals were good enough. And I mean, I already had all those sets, but even if I didn't, I don't know if I would have had that much of a desire to go pick up a remake of them. And especially getting into Possession and Skybound, there wasn't that many ninja vehicles those waves, so it would have had to been villain things, which LEGO doesn't really do for Legacy, or just dragons, which again, those dragons had brick-built heads, so they're not like iconic enough to be remade. So I kind of get why Legacy didn't happen. That being said, I want it to come back, I would love it to come back, but I think that's probably the reason why they're at least taking a break from it. What is your favorite set this year? Stay tuned for a video either later this week or next week, where I'll be going over my top 10 sets this year, and obviously the answer will be revealed there. And do you think that I should buy the Ninjago City Garden set? I mean, if you can afford it, it is a fantastic set. Of like all of the D2C $300 plus sets that I have, it is one of my favorites. And it's one of the best values too, because comparing this to like Star Wars sets at the same price, you get a lot more there in the Ninjago City Gardens than any other theme. So yeah, I mean, if you have the money and can afford it, I would highly recommend it. Thoughts on Muzzle. Knows this is a statement, so I better expect to hear your thoughts on Muzzle. My thoughts on Muzzle are I don't really remember him in the show. I need to rewatch Hunted, but he didn't really stand out to me. With Jay's core suit using bright yellow, do you think that they should use that color for Jay more in his mainline suits? How about Kai with bright orange? So bright yellow Jay I think should be used more, but it shouldn't become like his main color. I think every now and then it could be good to use, but I don't think it should be on every suit. Same thing with Kai and bright orange, though I think bright orange on Kai looks a lot better than the bright yellow on Jay. Bright orange on Kai is perfect, ideal. I'd love to see it on as many suits as possible. Bright yellow on Jay can be good, but should not be overused. Is Sensei real, or is it all in your head? It is all in my head. Alright, but I think that's about gonna do it for questions for now, but of course this video's not over. Now I'm gonna talk about a few of the LEGO sets that I got recently, give you my quick little review of them, then I'll discuss some recent LEGO news that I've been meaning to talk about that I haven't covered in individual videos on the channel, and then we'll wrap it up. But real quick before I continue, I want to give a real quick shout out to all of my YouTube members who help support the channel, and an extra special thank you to Pyro over here and above, who are the Brickworks, Tumbleweed, Nicholas Miller, Craftmastr, and Suntan, as well as Seabella Studios, who was a Golden Dr. Julian tier, so go check out his Instagram link in the description below. If you, the viewer, want to be a YouTube member, go click that join button next to the subscribe button, and you get access to a lot of cool perks, such as access to the exclusive Bricks by Mine Discord server, custom emotes, my live streams, and in my comments, and if you're Pyro tier and above, you get a shout out once a month in a video like this. But now, back to the video. Now, I don't have a ton of sets to show you that I built in the last month, because a lot of my building time was dedicated to the Avatar sets, the Big Giant Bowser set, and the Big Giant Razor Crest, and obviously 2 out of the 3 of those are very big sets, so I haven't had as much time to build other sets, but I did get around to building 2, so let's get started talking about them. The first, as you can see on my desk right here, is this LEGO City set, which has multiple parts, which I'll show you each of them individually. But this is Barn and Farm Animals from LEGO City. Now, this one was sent to me with the LEGO Ambassador Network, but of course, as always, all opinions expressed in this video are my own. And I wanted to take a look at this one because when I first saw it, my reaction and many other people's reaction was, that's $70? So of course I did not want to pay that money myself. But there was a lot of like very interesting and appealing things about this set. So I was like, you know what, I'll have the LEGO Ambassador Network send it over so I can take a look at it and tell you guys, is it worth $70? Because it sure doesn't look like it. And having it in hand, I mean, I like it, but it should be like $40. 70 is absurd for this. Maybe 50. I could maybe understand 50 because it is a 4+ set, uses a lot of big pieces, and there are a lot of animals included. But holy crap, $70 is wild for this. This is not a $70 set. Anyway, yeah, as you can see right here, I'm holding the main build of the set, the actual barn. You see there is a hay bale hanging from the top right here. I've got the animals stacked on top just so I didn't lose them. But you can see it comes with a cow who I absolutely love. You can see she has a neck which is able to move, just like the LEGO horses, so you can pet it down so she can be eating grass. She also has this section in the middle that can be removed. So if you want a character to ride on the cow, you can. There's just this standard LEGO pink pig, which used to be pretty rare, but it's actually more common nowadays. But there's also 2 all-new baby piglets who are absolutely adorable. I mean, look at these little guys. They're so tiny and they fit onto a single stud. What is not to love about them? I mean, come on. There's a little baby cow too, which is not as cute as some of the other animals in the set. But again, it's another cool new exclusive, which I really like. And then there's the sheep, which is not entirely new, but the wool piece is new. And that's pretty cool. You can take the wool piece off, and that's how you can represent it being sheared. So yeah, the animals, unsurprisingly, I absolutely loved. There's also this little greenhouse build that's pretty cute. A little tractor with a trailer behind it. And oop, I just noticed I forgot a little guy. There's an all-new baby lamb mold too, which again is adorable. Slightly larger than the pig, and a little bit more than a single stud. Oh, there's also a gray squirrel too. It's not new nor exclusive, but it is new for this year, so he's nice to get. And then the final build for this set is this little washing station. I really love this piece with all the bristles. That's not new, but it's my first time getting it, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that is it for the builds in this set. There's also just a brown plate, which is like a dirt pit for the pigs to play in. But yeah, there is really nothing else to it. So $70 for 230 pieces, I think, is absurd. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great animals here. I think this is a fantastic set for kids. So if you're like incredibly wealthy, don't care about price, and I don't know, have a young kid or a young sibling, this is a fantastic set, 'cause I know I would have loved all these animals when I was a kid. And heck, I love them now. But for anyone with any sort of budget, the asking price for this is absolutely absurd. Considering it's a 4+ set, uses a lot of big pieces, and considering there is a decent amount of minifigures, you get a total of 4, and so many animals, I could understand $50 for this set. 230 pieces for $50 isn't great, but considering everything else you get, I would understand that. But there is no world where this should be 70, so no, I do not recommend this set. I'm sure the animals will be re-released somewhere one day, so I would just wait for that. Do not buy this set. The set's good, don't get me wrong, simple and cute, but unless you find it for like half off on clearance, you do not need to buy it for this price. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about in this video is the Galaxy Explorer. This is another one that was sent to me by the LEGO Ambassador Network. This one, though, I wasn't planning on getting at all. With the farm, I specifically asked for that one. I'm like, hey, I'd like to take a look at this set. This one, though, this was just sent out to all ambassadors to help us celebrate the 90th anniversary, which was very kind of LEGO. I very much appreciate that. And it was not a set I planned on getting, because I'd never been a huge fan of the classic space aesthetic. But after having it all built up, yeah, I'm a classic space fan now. This is amazing. I was shocked to see there's actually a full interior in here. There's tons of room to pose figures, like little sleeping quarters for the astronauts. 4 seats at the front too, which is something you never see in LEGO. The classic space astronaut figures are amazing too. And then the entire thing is just sleek and fun. The colors and everything feel retro, yet the design still feels very modern. And for $100, this is actually kind of a fairly priced set this year. Like, I think back to Benny's spaceship from the LEGO movie, I believe that one was the same price, and it was around the same size. That one was slightly longer, but this one's wider and has more bulk, so I would say it's around the same scale. Plus, I believe if you're in the US, right now this is 25% off at Walmart, so 100% I would recommend this one. I genuinely love it a lot. It's not one I was expecting to like so much, but I'm really glad I have it. My one complaint is there's no locking mechanism for this bit at the back. So when I'm trying to switch it around, it always comes open. But yeah, other than that, I absolutely adore this set. Nothing but good things to say about it. Alright, that's gonna do it for my mini reviews for this video, but we're not done yet. Let's take a look at some LEGO news that's come out over the past month, because I have some things I want to say about some of it. So first we have the LEGO Ideas table football / foosball set that was revealed, and I really like this set, but it also bothers me. I like it because there's so many amazing new face prints introduced for so many different skin tones, especially the 2 new skin tones that were introduced this year, the like lighter brown color and then the new nougat, which is in between light nougat and just regular nougat. Both of those were introduced this year, but had very few characters that use those faces, so it's amazing to get so many new faces in those skin tones, as well as get more faces for all the others, and you get a total of, what, 44 on this set, I think? As well as a collection of really cool hair pieces, including some amazing recolors. The minifigure selection here is great. And then in terms of the actual foosball table, I think it actually looks like a lot of fun. My one issue with this set comes down to this $250 price point right here. Is it fair for the set with everything you get? Yeah, 100%. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, I wish there was a way to get all of these face prints, all these hair pieces, without paying $250. Because I really want all of these, but I don't really feel like buying a $250 foosball table. Because while I like the foosball table, there's so many other things I'd rather spend $250 on. So I hope next year we get a significantly cheaper set that is all about just minifigures, and they don't tie this in with a larger project. Because yeah, I would love to have this collection of face prints and hair pieces at my disposal, but I am not going to be paying this price for it. Next, I want to talk about the new UCS Hulkbuster. I have a lot of thoughts on this thing, oh my goodness. So early reviews came out and they were all negative. Nobody had a nice thing to say about this build, and honestly, obviously I have not seen it in person yet because it has not come out yet, but just from pictures and from what I've heard, this is one of the worst LEGO sets ever designed. I don't know what they were thinking. For one, why is it $550? Who asked for a $550 Hulkbuster? One thing I don't like about LEGO this year is how every set is $1 million. Like, I believe this is the first year ever Marvel got 3 D2Cs, but 2 of them, this one and the Black Panther bust, are just exorbitantly expensive. The price increase definitely had an impact on this because only 4,000 pieces. There's no way this should be $550. This should be like $300 to $400. Like as I mentioned earlier in this video, compare this to Ninjago City Gardens. Obviously very different type of set, right? A lot more small pieces used in the Gardens, a lot more big pieces used in the Hulkbuster. But the Gardens has 19 minifigures and also 1,500 more pieces, and is $200 cheaper. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason this should cost the price that it does. But even that aside, I think it just kind of looks really ugly. The torso is way too big, way too flat. Comparing this with official images from the movie, it doesn't look accurate. So I just feel like the set was a failure from all fronts. I feel like the weird proportions are only, I don't know if they have a picture here, but there's the smaller buildable Iron Man figure that fits inside, right? Which is already one of the least liked sets of this year. But I feel like they messed up the entire proportions of this guy just to fit that other figure in. And that guy doesn't even come in the set, so like how many people are gonna care, right? Like it's a cool gimmick, but if it hurts the set this much to have that gimmick, I'd rather it not have it at all. So I just don't know who's gonna want this. Like people have been asking for D2C Avengers Tower, D2C Helicarrier again. But instead we get Black Panther bust and this. The Black Panther bust at least is cool. I think it is a very niche audience that it's targeting because I guess I never talked about that one. But while it's well designed, the thing is, it is a standalone piece. If LEGO turns this into more of a line where they do an Iron Man bust in the future and like even a Darth Vader bust in the future, having all those lined up might be kind of cool. But the Black Panther bust on its own just kind of feels out of place. I know me as a collector, I'm not the biggest LEGO Marvel fan, number one. But even if I was, that would just be so different from everything else in my collection that I would feel less inclined to buy it. That one was a weird choice too, but at least that one looked good and the price was a little bit better. Still very expensive, but a little bit better. This thing though, I don't know how this thing got approved in any way, shape, or form. And this thing's gonna go on sale immediately. I don't even know what to say about it. I have never seen a LEGO set that I wanted less. Like, if someone came up to me like, hey, I have the D2C Infinity Saga Hulkbuster for you for free, I would take it and I would not build it. I would probably just part it out because I have no desire to build this thing. It's... Yeah, I don't think I've ever been less interested in a set. Also, the fact that the Iron Man figure is not even exclusive, I'm pretty sure, right? This is the same one as the Mini Avengers Tower. Okay, no, it's slightly different to the one in the Mini Avengers Tower, but functionally serves the same exact purpose. Yeah, I could ramble on about this thing for a while, but I think this set was a terrible decision. I wish we just got D2Cs of just minifigure scale stuff instead. We do not need this to exist. Alright, and then finally I want to talk about the latest LEGO Ideas results. So we actually had 4 projects approved, which is very cool to see. However, to me at least, they're not the most interesting projects overall. But that being said, I don't think this review period had the most interesting projects overall. So I honestly think these are fine decisions. I just hope this is the new standard going forward, because there is so many LEGO Ideas projects that do get rejected that are amazing. So I'm not really that upset by the ones that were rejected this time. I really hope that this is not the only review period that gets this many approved. But anyway, let's talk about them all real quick. So the first one is the insect set. This one I'm actually very excited for. I'll probably pick this one up because number one, it looks to be small and it's been a long time since we've gotten small idea sets, but I don't see this one being more than $50, $60, $70. As long as the price isn't completely absurd, I will get this one because I think it's really cute. Then we have the Orient Express. I'm not a train guy, but I know there's a lot of train people out there. So while I have no personal interest in this set, I know there is going to be a big audience out there for this set, so I am excited for them. Tales of the Space Age, I mean, it's cool the way everything is done, but I just don't really have that much of an interest in it. It's cool, it's unique, but I prefer minifigure scale stuff. I'm just not a huge fan of the art style sets. And then the Polaroid camera, sure. This is in line with just like the LEGO Ideas object sets. Does it need to exist? Probably not. Is it gonna sell? I don't know, we'll see. It could be creative, it could be fun, but again, it's not a set for me. A shame there's no cool minifigure scale stuff here. I would have liked a license in here that was not just Polaroid. But that being said, looking at all the other projects that were rejected, none of them are anything that I'm too upset that we lost. Like Aladdin could have been cool, but it's like, we have gotten LEGO Aladdin before. LEGO Toilet being rejected, that's the biggest crime ever committed. And a lot of the others are just way too big to ever be an official set. The next review period has some really interesting ones such as Garfield, another Ratatouille project, LEGO Cats. So I'm excited to see what's in store for that one. And I really hope it's once again a lot of projects. But I think that's about going to do it for this video, so thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to try to do this monthly. I'll try to get one more out before the end of November, because this was technically the October episode. Again, let me know what you thought of this video format series in the comments below. Give me name suggestions again, because I don't know. I didn't fall in love with any of the suggestions from the last video. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please press like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do LEGO videos just like this one almost every day, so if you subscribe, you're the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.